Good evening. The Rio Rancho Public Schools Board of Education meeting for Monday, May 12th is now called to order. And if all would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, Board Member Miller will lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. JC, can you take a roll call for us, please?
President Gilbert.
Present.
Vice President Morgan.
Present.
Secretary Tyler.
Present.
Board Member Tripp.
Present.
Board Member Miller.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you so much. We'd like to welcome everyone out to our board meeting tonight. We have a nice full room here, and we do want to recognize that we have State Senator Craig Brandt here with us tonight. We'll recognize him shortly, and so thanks for being here with us tonight. We'd like to start off our meeting tonight with some introductory comments by our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Bisu Cleveland.
Thank you so much, and we're delighted that you're here this evening. As we mentioned just a moment ago, President Galbraith will present the New Mexico School Boards Association Student Achievement Award to Senator Brandt for his untiring work on behalf of Rio Rancho Public Schools. He helped the district this year and in many years with key pieces of legislation that had a major financial impact on our district. In addition to many legislative capital outlay projects that he has seen funded for us, he recently assisted in obtaining funding for 2 of our math labs, which have just been a tremendous success. In fact, we've had LVSC in, we have had the Secretary of Education in look at those labs, and this year more money was put so more schools will have an opportunity to have these math lab experiences. But that has been just a tremendous success for our students. We hope eventually to have them in all of our schools, all of our elementary programs. But Senator, we're glad that you were here, and thank you for your work this past session. Okay, we had before this meeting a Finance Committee meeting of the board. We met to review the proposed 2025-2026 proposed budget. In addition to the budget, there was a discussion of our bonds, where we are in all of our bond projects, and including looking at a 2025 bond, which basically continues to fund projects previously approved by the board or projects that the board indicated they would like to see constructed in our district. In many cases, increased costs in construction and project expansions have resulted in a continuation of some of the projects. Just briefly addressing the cost of construction has doubled, in some cases tripled, and many of you in the community are very much aware of those increased costs. So they're making projects that we're funding with bond dollars more challenging every single year. And it has, it's not true just here, but certainly in the Albuquerque region, but statewide and nationally, we have seen no abatement of increasing prices. And the one thing we don't know yet, what the impact will be on some of the tariffs and how that will also impact construction in general and school construction in specific. We have some DECA commendations. So we have a lot of students here. Larry Davis, Director of Career Technical Education, will present the DECA state winners and talk about some of the other student achievements in DECA. There were some 8 first place winners, but there were a lot of other winners and a lot of others recognized. That just want to mention a few, and we'll talk about some of the others during the presentation. Leonel Cisneros, Buying and Merchandising Operations Research. Haley Granados and Jasmine Martinez, Integrated Marketing Campaign Event. Nathaniel Roybal, Integrated Marketing Campaign Product. Devon Frescas, Integrated Marketing Campaign Service. Lily Goodmarker and Laura Pignon, project management sales. And so these are all the very top awards, but there were many other students who did well. But congratulations to these students and to all of the others who are here this evening. DECA is a really strong program in our district. We're really proud of that program. We also have in commendations, Mariah Affentranger, our Director of Student Services, will present a recognition for Project Linus. And Linus, of course, you know, is from the Peanuts comic strip, who loved his blanket. And this project provides very special handmade blankets to children in our community. It's a wonderful service project and impacts a lot of our students' lives. And so they'll share a little bit about that project this evening. We have also other commendations. Felix Griego, Executive Director of Student Nutrition, will present certificates to some of the SFE employees. Many of them have worked in our district now for at least 20 years. And food service is such an important part of our school services to both our students and to our families. You know, our cafeterias are kind of a social place, and they create a healthy and a positive environment in our schools. And we are very pleased with how we've seen our program grow the last few years, and both in terms of quality, but in terms of the number of students who are seeking to participate in our breakfast and lunch programs. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We want to recognize and thank those individuals for your years of service and your commitment to our students and to your schools where you work. We have a lot of commendations tonight, and that's really good. Our last commendation is for the Intel Reading for Miles program. Intel has sponsored this for many years. We thank them. This is a fun and supportive program that encourages students to read for pleasure. And we congratulate all of our student winners. We have some slides that show the number of minutes read and the student winners. And I believe they'll show you those slides during their presentation. And then we have a legislative update and report. Lauren Hatch, Chief Legal Counsel, and Chris Belzano, Government Relations, will share the final RRPS legislative priorities presentation with the board this evening. The past 2025 legislative session was a 60-day session, and so many bills were of vital importance to the school district. And so we thank them for their hard work on staying on top of those pieces of legislation and speaking on the district's behalf and just monitoring the process. And we had some good things that came out of that, and we're appreciative of their work. And then we thank the board members who were able to attend and advocate for our district during the session as well. And it's important, and people appreciate seeing you there. All right, and then we have in our regular business, we have a Fine Arts Education Act application for next year. This is a very important application. You'll be asked to consider approval for FAEA application. It funds much of our elementary programs, and we have wonderful elementary programs, and that's just part of how we fund them and pay for them. Kurt Schmidt, our Executive Director of Fine Arts, will present the application and talk a little bit about the application and what it accomplishes for us. I would just kind of put a plug in for this Saturday at Haynes Park. Much of the day, our orchestra and bands performed in the park for the community, starting with elementary early and then going on through the day. It was quite an undertaking. I was really impressed with what I saw. The mayor attended in the beginning and spoke, and it started elementary, and it's really kind of interesting to just see how students progress over the years, how their skills build, and how they just become increasingly talented musicians. But we also thank the community for showing up. It was a large number of people who came, and most importantly, we thank our students, our staff, the exceptional staff that we have, and the parents who support these students. But it was I saw it as a gift to the community, and it really gave the community a chance to see the really fine work that is being done in that area. It was all day, so I don't know, according to some of you all have sunburn. I would not be in the least bit surprised, but it was a privilege to be able to spend a little time there. As I've had several places to go this weekend, but that was just a real treat. We have our graduations coming up very soon now. Cyber Academy is May the 16th, Cleveland May 19th, Independence in the afternoon of May 19th, and Rio Rancho High School on the 20th. So we're just about at the end of the year for our seniors. Are there any comments, questions, anything from the board? Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Cleveland. Appreciate it. All right, we'll now go to approve our prioritized agenda and proposed time allocations.
Madam President, this is Board Member Tyler. I'll make a motion to approve the prioritized agenda and proposed time allocation.
Board Member Jeff Morgan, I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, now we will go to our commendations, which you had kind of a nice preview of all of our commendations as we went through Dr. Cleveland's presentation. But I get to start our first one, and this is a sweet thing. So this is our Excellence in Student Achievement Award, and I have it all wrapped up here. And I'm trying to make sure I have my notes here open. But it's an honor and a privilege to recognize someone tonight. And that person is Senator Craig Brandt. You want to come on up to the podium if everyone wants to go ahead and. I feel like I should be down there, but I'm going to do this from up here so I can see my notes, and then I'll come and bring it down to you. But Senator Brandt, he has just been such an advocate for our schools and for the students, not just here in Rio Rancho, but for students all over the state. We're lucky that he comes here from Rio Rancho because, you know, we get his ear often. We were talking about that legislative session that just came forward, and I had an opportunity to be up there. I think I was up there 2 days between conferences and then up there talking to different, and I was exhausted. I was totally exhausted. And all I could think was, man, our legislature, how do they do it? 60 days or, you know, whatever it may be. And so just a little bit about Senator Brandt. He's a ranking member of the Senate Finance Committee. He has served as the Senate Minority Whip, and he's just been, I was looking at all of the different committees that you've served on over the many years, but he has, and this may have changed with this last one, I'm not sure, but I know at least 16 pieces of legislation that you've sponsored has become law in the state of New Mexico. So that's pretty sweet. And many of those have directly benefited us, our schools, our students, and all of those things. So Senator Brandt has been a tireless advocate for our students, from securing capital outlay to ensure that we can support learning in our schools, to championing our career technical education, also our pre-K that we've been working so hard on. And expanding opportunities for students to explore real-world careers. He has never wavered in his commitment to our youth. So this award here reflects not only legislative accomplishments, but the real and lasting difference those efforts have made in the lives of students and families in our community. And so thank you so much, Senator, for coming out tonight. We'd like to give you an opportunity to speak, but if everyone would just applaud one more time for Senator Brandt.
Wasn't too long ago that I was sitting up there, not
That's
in this
right.
room, but over in the old boardroom. So I guess it's been a little bit of time, but it has been such an honor to serve our community in Santa Fe as well as on the board. My passion has always been our children, and whether or not they're getting the education they need. I think our district has done a phenomenal job. We just need to get the rest of the state on par. CTE has become a big issue and continues to be a big issue, and actually is spreading nationally as a major issue as less and less young people are choosing to go to college. More and more of them are wanting to go straight into the workplace, making $50,000 and up a year if they have the background and the background knowledge that they need. And that's why I've been pushing it so hard for the last 16 years, even before going to Santa Fe. I've always, most of the bills, like you said, are on education. I've branched out a little bit in the last couple of years. I've been working on some of our crime issues because those have become top issues in our state. as well as working on medical issues. I've worked very closely with the Medical Society in trying to get things passed that will keep our doctors here, because we have an aging population in New Mexico. We need to make sure we have doctors for them. But right now, we're not a very hospitable environment for doctors to come to and stay. And so those have been the things I've really been working on. But yes, my focus, as Dr. Cleveland will tell you, has always been on not just Rio Rancho, but what's best for children throughout the state. I always tell us, I've been on Legislative Education Study Committee for 13 years, and I'm still on it. And I always say, we need to keep our focus on the children, not the adults. Because a lot of times in our state and in other states, we want to focus on the adults and not on the needs of children. So I continue to try to bring them back to that. So I really thank you for this award. I know it comes from the School Board Association, but thank you for presenting it here tonight. It is an honor to represent this community in Santa Fe.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Really quick, I know Dr. Cleveland would be sad not to be able to say a few words. I know you talked, but if you want to.
Some things don't ever change, right, Senator? But really and truly, it's been a long-term commitment. A lot of people have commitment, but it's short-term. And Senator Brands has been a long-term commitment to education in our state. And we face some real obstacles, and we're facing some this year. And it would have been, I don't want to understate it, actually. Without a couple of the things that happened, this district would have been very difficult shape next year. And he just got in there and worked hard to get that through for us. And so we appreciate that. And it's not the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last time. But I really made the extra effort to help us with one of the bills that really impacted our budget. But it's been a pleasure to work with you in many different capacities over many years, and I don't think anyone ever questions your hard work and your dedication to our students. So we thank you for that, and it's just a pleasure to be able to honor you for that today.
Thank you. I'm going to come down and present this to you. You guys want to clap while I come back? All right, we'll go to our next commendation. Our next is going to be presented by Larry Davis, our Director of Career Technical Education. And we're going to honor our DECA State winners. I believe we have a few. Yes, there we go.
Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Cleveland, good evening. As you know, I support through Career Technical Education as a director 18 different pathways in our district. One of our most populated pathways is DECA. We offer that at both comprehensive high schools. Combined total of both comprehensive high schools, they serve 375 students district-wide. So it's a very nice number. I thought about talking about the awards for the students, but honestly, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the teachers and let them have the honor of introducing their students, because the teachers, if I could have them step up, Christopher, Aaron Carica, Christopher Quintana, and Mr. Raymond McKinney. These individuals are true difference makers in our district, to not only put those hours in during the day, but to work after hours. CTE supports each program to the tune of about $15,000 this year, a little bit over that. But I want to double down on the experiences that they provide for our students, because some students may not have the ability to travel, may have the ability to leave the state, but through programs like this and through our support of these programs, they get to broaden their view of the world. And I've sat on the stump of experiences like these help drive future career decisions. And these teachers behind me do that, and they set the bar very high as they make it look easy, but I know the hours that they keep. So I'd like for them to come up collectively and introduce their students for their accomplishments.
Good evening. I'm Christopher Quintana. I'm one of the DECA advisors at Cleveland High School. This is my counterpart, Miss Erin Riga. We're very proud of our students and what they did this year. We took approximately 87 students to state this year. Had about 124 actual DECA members this year from our students, had the highest growth rate in the state of New Mexico, and ended up qualifying 37 of them to nationals. 8 of our students ended up taking first in their event at state, and 4 of them were able to make it this evening. We have Mr. Devin Fresquez, Miss Lauren Pinon, Miss Haley Granados, and Mr. Leonel Cisneros that were able to make it this evening. Many of our seniors were at work this evening and unable to make it, but thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm Ray McKinney. I'm the advisor at Rio Rancho High School. We didn't have a slide, but that's okay. We won't feel slighted. These are great folks here. Abe Hoffman is our president this year. He's been in DECA all 4 years. He's gone to nationals all 4 years.
Wow.
This year he was a state champion. And then we have Cortland Flores. Another thing we get to do is if our chapter achieves certain benchmarks, we can send students to nationals to go to leadership conferences. So both Cortland and Tyler got to go to leadership. Oh, and Sophia Romero, they got to go to conferences. And then Aubrey Adarte and Mila Huber also competed at nationals. So we had a total of 22 that went to nationals this year.
Wow.
We had 88 that qualified for state, and 64 of them made finals. A lot of them were first-year students, and there's only like 4 slots in the whole state, but we still did very well. Very proud of our kids. Thanks to CTE, they help us with funding a lot. We do a lot of fundraising and our school store and everything, but there were a number of kids on the trip this year that have never been on an airplane. They've never traveled out of New Mexico. They got to go to Orlando, Florida, where there's 21,000 people at this conference, and they met people from all over the world. They had great experiences, and hopefully they learned a lot. Yep, there you go. Right answer. We thank everybody for your support. DECA wouldn't survive without all the support that we get, or we'd just be just another class or something. But Larry Davis does great stuff for us, and the board approves our trips every year. We appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, teachers, and I think you can see why I wouldn't have done justice to all their numbers and everything. They do a phenomenal job, and we're just so incredibly lucky to have teachers like this in our district.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I want to give Dr. Cleveland a moment to be able to.
Well, firstly, I want to apologize for not having your slide. I assumed you were coming the next week when I didn't get it. So there was no slide intended, and we're just so glad that you were here. And but to all of you, congratulations. You know, we have a lot of programs that have just been powerful year after year after year, and DECA is one of those. And we're really proud for your accomplishments, and it is great to go and meet other people from other places and hear what they're doing in their organizations, and you kind of come back fired up to do even more in your own organization. So congratulations to all of you, and it is a program that we're very proud of and want to continue to support, because it really does make a difference and really does prepare you for things in your future. So we're just so proud for you. Thank you so much for coming this evening.
Yeah, thank you. And then I have something real quick. So this is our state champ. Am I understanding right? Yeah, you're a state. Okay, I'm gonna totally put you on the spot. It's totally okay.
It's all good. My club puts me on the spot all the time, and they would say, "Hey,
There you go. See, it's perfect. Can you represent? Okay, because we can't go through everyone, just take your time. But can you represent? Maybe just talk a little bit about your experience and maybe even just some of the things you're doing in the future.
Yeah. So as Mr. McKinney said, I've been in DECA all 4 years at Rio Rancho High School. I've met a lot of people in DECA. That's where I learned one of my greatest passions is helping people. These guys, I'm the only senior here from Rio Rancho today, so I can speak for all of us that it's been a joy watching a lot of these guys grow up. I guarantee you, Cortland, I went to Orlando the first time with Cortland in 2022. He's grown up tremendously. I'm super proud of him. Cleveland, it's always nice to get with them. We don't see them too often, but whenever we do, it's always so fun. And we're always like, oh, hey, what are you guys doing? We had the Chick-fil-A competition last year that Rio Rancho did win. And then nationals, you get to meet so many people. You meet people from other countries. Canada is always a big one that's there. China's there. You just get to meet so many people that help you find out who you are. And on the edge of branching out, like Mr. McKinney touched on, and our wonderful Captain Wonderful touched on earlier today, that you get to meet so many different colleges. My college that I'm going to, Florida Gulf Coast, is not really there, but it's helped me branch out, and it's getting me ready to move out and meet new people at college because it's in Florida. So, yeah. And then on the competition aspect, it's pretty hard to prepare for this. The projects only get 3 spots in an event. What I do, the role plays, you only get 4 spots in an event, and you have to be top 4, and there's a lot of kids at state. So it really does take all of these wonderful adults in the room here to get us prepared, and it really is, all of our experiences are a testament to you guys. I want to thank all of you guys for approving our meetings. I know I look forward to the competition aspect a little more than most of my club, but still going to Universal in Orlando with these wonderful group of kids is always an amazing treat that I'll miss after I graduate this year. So really thank you all for supporting us, and hopefully you continue to support CTE programs in the future because they really do make a difference.
Yeah, we will. That'd be good. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, and we want to thank all of our sponsors for everything. Dr. Cleveland was just saying how great
I
she is.
forgot to do that. Thank you for your work, because you don't have this kind of organization if you don't have strong sponsors who are dedicated, hardworking, and nicely keep pushing students to just get better. And so I did want to specifically thank the sponsors as well.
Yeah, thank you guys. Does anyone, okay, I don't want Cleveland to get mad later that I didn't, does anyone really want to come and talk? You're welcome to. I just don't want anyone to be like, oh, that bird doesn't, because I love both. Okay. You're good. Okay. So last, can we get a photo with everyone? I know we have a lot of parents who are here. If you guys want to come up here, we can get a photo with all of you guys. And we'll stand up. Yeah, you should be in here.
Are we doing Becca symbols?
Well, you're more important than I am.
All right, ready, 1, 2, 3.
All right.
So, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. Congratulations.
Okay. All right. Our next commendation for the evening is Project Linus. So Mariah Affentranger, our Director of Student Services, will present.
I've gotten really fond of being up here.
Come on up. Come on. Yeah.
Come stand with me. Good evening, President Galbraith, Dr. Cleveland, and members of the school board. I'm going to be brief, and I wish I was as well spoken as that amazing young man. I'm going to introduce just real quickly the 4 amazing school counselors who actually took an idea that Janice Chenault brought to us. I don't know if she's in the house this evening. 2 years ago, and these 4 ladies helped make it a reality. They committed themselves to working with our RRPS students and their families. In order to give them a safe and caring space to share their feelings around the grief that comes with losing a loved one. So the 4 counselors who made this possible are Lisa Martin from Rio Rancho High School, Deidre Ortiz from Martin Luther King Elementary School, Charity Stolworthy from Eagle Ridge Middle School, and Jennifer Duggan from Ernest Stapleton Elementary School. And I'm going to ask Lisa to come to the front to present the award to Project Linus.
Okay, so I'll make this brief, it's not very long. bit. On behalf of our grief group, we want to extend our deepest gratitude for the beautiful blankets you so lovingly made our students. Each one is a tangible reminder of the kindness and comfort you provided to our students. Your thoughtful gift brought warmth, but it also brought physical and emotional support to our students. To every member of your group, we want to thank our heartfelt appreciation to you. And it means so much to know that there are compassionate individuals like your group reaching out to support others and on their healing journey. Thank you for wrapping us in your care. And on behalf of all of us, we want to present this plaque to your group.
I am just going to say one more thing, just because I think it shows the impact that your group has. I'm not going to use the mic. But our director of nursing, Lynn Wheeler, told me this evening that I was getting ready to come over here, that her 2 children, when they were 5 and 9, were given a blanket when they had to evacuate their home during the Cerro Grande fire in the year 2000. They are 31 and 35 now, and Lynn still has those blankets. She was just so grateful, and she's gonna bring them in and show them to us. But that really does demonstrate the impact that you have on our family and our community, and how long you have been sharing that joy with others. And we have our 2 darling students here today that have been so patient during this meeting. So we want to thank you guys for coming, because we have loved having you in our groups the last couple of years.
Thank you. Do you want to say something, Dr. Cleveland?
Do you want to get a picture, anyone, of this? Since we have one?
I'm hoping we got some in the.
We come up here and let's get, if everybody's okay with that, we come up and let's get a photo of all of you that created blankets and staff who supported the program.
What if we as a board,
And we want
down,
this-
why don't we as a board go down there and take a picture with them? So you can stay right there. We're going to come to you.
So the ladies wanted to also mention that they have donated many blankets to not just our group, but Independence High School, correct?
Independent school and something else.
Oh, okay.
But we have. We're gonna. Jason, can you do it with that? I can't.
You can.
Thank you.
It's kind of sweet to see generations, that were represented right there. But anyway, we want to just thank them again for coming in tonight. We appreciate it. All right, our next will be our SFE staff recognition. So we have Felix Riego, our Executive Director of Student Nutrition here.
Good evening, President Galbraith, Dr. Cleveland, members of the board. Thank you for allowing us to be here. Typically, it's to come here and do a little bit of business. And so last time we were able to pass the contract for SFE for an additional 4 years. But it's nice to be here to represent and kind of talk a little bit about our cafeteria staff, because they are the foundation of our learning for our students. We all know that a student with an empty stomach is not as successful in the classroom, but if they do have a full stomach, then they will be successful in the classroom. And so it is my pleasure to be here to recognize our staff that have been with Rio Rancho Public Schools for 20 and 25 plus years. So, they've spent their careers here. They've probably fed the majority of our families, our communities, and so they make a big impact. And so when I had a conversation with Dr. Cleveland about 2 months ago, she said, well, you have a student nutrition department, and even though they're contractors, they all are part of Rio Rancho Public Schools. And so what I went ahead and did is I asked the admin, and I said, well, do you think you could pull me, is there a roster of the years of service for our staff? And so I got the Excel spreadsheet, and with awe, I pulled the spreadsheet and I sorted it by dates. And so I saw 29 years, and then I kept going. I'm like, wow, there's 12 of them. Almost all of them are here this evening. And so I'm going to try and make it quick. They've been at work, some of them 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, preparing breakfast and lunch for our students. And so, and another side note, typically the 1st of May is cafeteria superhero week or day. And that was May 2nd. And so we're able to give them some goodies and recognize them. But I felt it was important for us to bring them here today and recognize them with the certificate. So I'll call up all of our cafeteria staff that are here today. And they range from cafeteria staff to managers to assistant general managers. So And I got our senior general manager for SFE, Rex List. A lot of you see Rex around. He's got his head down typically and ready to serve the district at all times. And so we'll go ahead and present these wonderful ladies with some certificates, and then maybe we can take a picture and anything that you all would like to add as well. So let's see here. Let's see.
I'm going to do 20 to 24 years. So when I call you, grab it and then stand right here, and then we'll take a picture, okay? And I don't like pictures, so I'll be.
We're just doing pictures.
We have Yumi Trailer. She is at Eagle Ridge. We have Karen Wabe-Kin Jameson. She's at Rio Rancho High. Amy Rodriguez, who was at Rio Rancho High for a very long time, and now she's an assistant general manager with us. Arlinda Thompson, she is at Enchanted Hills Elementary School. Tina Simonton, and she is at Rio High School. And Patricia Rodriguez, and she is at Joe Harris.
25 years of service or more. First, we have Joanne Miano. Kathy D. Jaramillo. Kathy wasn't able to join us. She's at Mountain View, and she's the manager there. So she's been there quite some time, 27 years. We have Linda Valdez. She currently is our assistant general manager. Thank you, Linda. Abel Reyes, he's one of our drivers. He's at all of our schools. He's been with us 27 years. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it tonight. So thank you, Abel. We have Gail Quinones, who's at Eagle Ridge. She's the kitchen manager at Eagle Ridge. So thank you. And last but definitely not least is Rhea Perry. And Rhea is at Puesta, and she does a really good job at Puesta. So thank you, Rhea. 29 years.
Going down, you will have to come up here.
You want to get us in it, or do you want to?
Sure, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to say anything before we go down?
Well,
to
I-
pictures?
We'll have you come up and get a photo in just a second. I said a little before, we so appreciate the job you do. And some of you I know because you said my children, but we do appreciate your hard work. You are very much a part of our district. And we do acknowledge just the important thing. You set the tone for our kids in so many different ways. Many of you start with breakfast and then come in with lunch. It's not only a place to eat, but it's time to talk and socialize, and that warm and caring environment that you provide in your schools. It really matters a lot to kids. So thank you so much for the good work that you do, and thank you for staying with it so long. It's a hard job, we know, and we're thankful that you have been part of this for at least 20 years. So thank you all for coming tonight and letting us honor you this evening.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming in. This is fun. What?
Thank you.
All right, you got it? You good? Okay. One more.
Just think you guys will get to be in the book for the 60-year anniversary of Rio Rancho Public Schools. We'll have to put that one in there. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate it. So our next is the Intel reading for Miles, and Amanda Ball, our Rio Rancho Public Schools lead librarian at MLK Elementary, will present.
Good evening, Dr. Cleveland, President Galbraith, members of the board. Thank you for having me here tonight. We wanted to recognize Intel in our third year of working with the Intel Reading for Miles Challenge. They have been encouraging our second graders to read for the last 3 years with this fun challenge where they donate bikes and prizes to encourage the students to read for, we did 2 weeks this year for a 2-week period of time. We had about 580 students across the district turn in reading logs for that 2-week period. So that's pretty awesome that we're reading. And we'll go on. We read a total of 230,557 minutes the second graders read during that 2-week period. So we had four winners at each school. At Colinas del Norte, they read 8,409 minutes. At Cielo Azul, they read 16,886 minutes. At Enchanted Hills, 21,570 minutes. In East Stapleton, 83,110 minutes. At Joe Harris, 16,275 minutes. At Maggie Cordova, 8,785 minutes. At Martin Luther King, 13,892 minutes. At Puesta del Sol, 10,704 minutes. At Rio Rancho Elementary, 15,645 minutes. Sandia Vista, 8,601 minutes. At Vista Grande, I don't have their total on there, so I missed that one. Sorry, it's probably on my spreadsheet and I forgot to add it. Sorry about that. And that's our last one. But you can see all of our happy kids with their bikes. They were so excited. And Intel encouraged with bikes. They also gave us little pencil toppers for every student that had logged any minutes for the first week, and little squishy balls for any student had logged minutes for the second week, to really encourage those kiddos to be reading. And so we just wanted to thank Intel and our liaison over there, Raquel Leon, for helping us continue this program and really encourage our students to read.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for coming, Dr.
Thank
King.
you so much.
Do you want to say anything?
Well, that's okay. I just wanted to thank you for your effort in coordinating this for us this year. And, nobody has to tell any of us, we know how important reading is to children. And the more they read and the more they read for pleasure, the better students they are and the better readers they are. So getting kids excited about reading, it's important. But we also thank Intel for stepping forward and giving some nice incentives for our students to read. And so we thank you. We thank all of the coordinators at the building. Congratulations to the kids, and thanks again, especially to all the staff who helped with this. So this is wonderful, and we hope that we can do it again next year.
So thank you so much. So fun. I find that if we can, the kids don't read as much as they used to, but if you have programs like this that they can see how fun it is to read, then it just can really launch them into some good practices. So now we'll go to our reports. We have just one tonight, and it's our legislative update. We have Lauren Hatch, our Chief Legal Counsel, as well as Chris Balzano, our government relations.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Cleveland. I am Lauren Hatch, here to talk about the legislative results with our top gun. Here he is right here, Chris Balzano. When I was in K-12 school, I really loved the visual arts programs. And one of my favorite things to do was our teacher would have all these magazines and we'd have to cut out pictures and make these collages out of them. And I've learned that working on legislative matters is very similar to that project. It takes a lot of people's work, and you gather that together until you have a coherent picture in the end. I do want to thank our delegation, echoing what Dr. Cleveland said. We have a very good set of legislators that care about Rio Rancho Public Schools and have been able to get themselves on some very key committees. And they look out for us, and they make sure that we have the funding that we need, and they listen to our concerns about legislation, both for and against, and we very much appreciate that. I appreciate the work that the board has done this year, going up there and making the case for us. It's a very powerful thing. Also, Dr. Cleveland, I had the distinct honor of ferrying her up there quite a few times for her to testify, and that makes a huge difference. And then also Chris Balzano, our guy on the ground up there. His work is invaluable because he is there in those conversations that we're not able to be at because we're busy doing our work back here at the district. And I really very much appreciate it is a team effort that produces the results that we get. And so we are going to talk about kind of where we're at. I'm going to turn the time over to Chris. We do have a presentation, and then we'll stand ready to answer questions.
Good evening, Dr. Cleveland, President, and members of the board. It's good to be here with you. I was just thinking when I was sitting there that this upcoming fiscal year is going to be 10 years that I've been with Rio Rancho Public Schools. And I still remember when Gary retained me. I was just starting. I only had 2 years in. And I do appreciate the opportunity every fiscal year, every legislative year to be there and representing Rio Rancho Public Schools. And I want to echo what Lauren stated. Thank you so much for being there, each one of you. Dr. Cleveland, on the last days of the session, being over there, waiting patiently. And as you know, the quote and the roundhouse is hurry up and wait. And we did a lot of that. And I know each one of you also reach out to our delegation, work with your relationships up there. And today I'm very excited to report to you the results of the work that we were able to do together. It takes an effort, cannot just be myself up there, but we were everywhere where we needed. And this is the result. Lastly, I want to just say thank you for your patience as we were preparing to give this report. I felt that you'll be much more effective waiting until the governor finalized and signed everything, and then we could take a look on House Bill 2 and see really what got vetoed, what passed, and then provide a final legislative report to each one of you. So let's go to the presentation there. I just want to recap a little bit of the dates. Session ended on March 22nd. On April 11, just a month ago, that was when the governor office had the deadline on signed bills and vetoed bills. Legislative Finance Committee already started their budgetary hearings and meetings. So the budget for next fiscal year already beginning the conversation. And this week, they actually having the first hearing happening right now, actually, in Tucumcari. So the other interim committees that we monitor throughout the year will begin on May 15 preparing the work agenda for the interim committee or the interim session before the 30-day legislative session. There, just to remind you, July 1st, the fiscal year starts. October 17 is our capital outlay deadline when it opens, so we can submit. Deadline December 13th. I stay in touch with Lauren, with everyone on the team, so that we can track all those things. Something that to think about in November, if we're going to do our legislative forum with our delegation and present what we're going to be requesting for the 30-day session. Interim committees or interim session, what I like to call, ends on December 16th of this year. Last slide. So on your final legislative report, probably saw that on your folder there. That is the final legislative report includes everything that the governor signed that we were tracking, everything that we were tracking that she vetoed, all pocket veto, and also legislature that did not pass the legislature that made it to the governor's desk. That is the governor's desk report, which is what is on her desk. Not only will we track, but everything that made it there. You can go to that PDF file and you'll see the report. And then you receive also your list with capital outlay. And that list of capital outlay, there are the names of the legislatures now, so we can track who helped the school district and made those appropriations. So that came up about on April 25th. That's why it took a little longer, because again, I wanted to give you the final updated report on that. And then we have House Bill 2, which is our budget, and all the breakdown for public education and public school support. Everything is in detail on that PDF file as well, where you can go through it. And if you have any questions beyond what is there, please feel free to contact me. I'll be more than happy to provide that. Next slide. There we see a little bit of statistics on the session. 1,328 pieces of legislation were introduced. That's bills, memorials, resolutions. But look how many were signed. It's a really low number. So at the beginning of the session, we all get a little excited with all the bills and everything that is coming up, what we support, what we don't support. And it really takes a whole team to identify every legislation and kind of know already, okay, this is not going to go anywhere, where we should focus on it. But it shows there that it's really a low number that makes it into the books of law. Just to give you a perspective. Next slide is just an overview, since we have been a firm overall with our clients when it comes to state budget and securing funding. So to give you just an idea on that. Next slide. This is just to give you, where do I find the budget? What exactly is everything there condensed in legislation? Those are the three pieces of legislation: House Bill 2, Senate Bill 425, and House Bill 450. That's where all the money is. And again, if you have any specific questions about budgetary state matters, just feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to go on that. Let's go to the next slide and figure out what was the highlights. House Bill 63 was the biggest one there on debate and working together, negotiations. That bill was the public school funding formula. We work on increasing the basic program unit. Also had other things related to at-risk index for charter schools. Did create and transfer some money for English learner program units as well, and provided hold harmless provisions on the formulas and the changes that were made it. You probably saw in the news the SB 163, the tribal regalia, that was all over everywhere. It was talked over and over again. Let's see, come back here. House Bill 156, educational salaries. With that, I did add this to your House Bill 2, so that you are aware that, just an observation here, with the increase of salaries, we just have to make sure that the funding right now assumes that we calculate the 4% average first, then we do the tire increase, not the way that around. Because if we try to do the tire and then the 4%, we're gonna fall short on our budget. And there is some school districts that have done that. So just an observation, I put that on House Bill 2 analysis, so that way we are aware on that, on the detail there on the language.
Then we have House Bill 195 with school nurse salaries and titles and minimums. That pretty much creates a system for the school nurses with minimal salaries at the same rate as teachers. Appropriation as well were made it to that through Senate Finance Committee. House Bill 532 requires each school board to develop and adopt guidance for student water safety. That's another one that passed. Governor signed it. Next slide. And then we have the SB 11, which was the cell phone bill, so that the boards of the school districts, they have to create a policy on that. I believe we already have a policy set on that. It's now in statute. And then SB 82 with public school capital outlay changes. Some of the changes that, some of the provisions that were there was to reduce the local match for schools. So everything that we see there, in a way, for school districts in general, it was a good year and a session. Next is the capital outlay projects. There you can see, again, who appropriated the funds for our projects, what we were able to secure. We had a very successful session. So you got the PDF file with the detailed list, but I just put that there for the presentation so that way everyone can take a look and see the work that took for everyone being up there and securing the funding. Let's go to the next slide. Next.
Okay.
Let's see, one more. One more, keep going. Keep going. There, that's the big one. This is not easy. Again, with the effort of each one of you, Dr. Cleveland, our team there on the late hours, on the last days of the session, to secure $3 million. And also the work that happens after the session. We do, like anything, is a chess game. We have opponents that we're trying to convince the office to veto that. We had to work on deliberations with the Office of the Governor to protect that and stay in statute so they didn't get vetoed as well. Lauren had a bad experience on understanding how the pieces work together. What did you say about how you learn how the session works? With the pieces of paper that you put out together? Yeah. I learned different. I learned how to make sausage with my stepfather in Germany, and that's what reminds me. Is an experience, you don't want to know what is in your hot dog. So it's the same way in a roundhouse. That's how I compare to it. It's hard to be there on the late nights with everyone. We are in the business of people, and everyone's tired. And everybody's there and trying to do the best they can with what they have. And here we are, the special appropriation. I want to thank Dr. Cleveland for being there when it needed to be there. We were able to secure that. Let's go to the next. This is just what we should forecast and see what is coming up. Some of that I already mentioned. When it comes to interim, we're going to be traveling and monitoring the Legislative Education Study Committee, Indian Affairs Committee, Senate Finance Committee, Legislative Finance Committee. And one observation there, you can see the two last bullets. There is a forecast for a special session. So right now, as you can see, by reading the news and watching, there's two scenarios that folks on around the house are discussing. The first one is that the administration will cut funds and nothing's coming to the state. And we're gonna have to get in a special session because we need to have a budget balance. We can go deficit. So we went through that before. Some of you are familiar with what happened when they revert funding. There is a possibility if we go to a special session that 5 to 7% of the reserves from everyone, doesn't matter, school districts, every agency will be reverted to make the state budget and trying to balance with the cuts that are coming from the federal level. The second scenario is that those cuts that are happening at the federal level are just so that that funding would be allocated to the states, and then the states make the decision on what programs are best for the states. We don't know that yet. So that's why they are targeting October to have a special session, few months just after the fiscal year to kind of have an idea, okay, what's going to happen when it comes to costs, how it's going to impact the New Mexico Public Education Department and school districts here in the state. So we are monitoring that. I just want you to be aware that might come up. We are monitoring to see if a special session will happen before the beginning of the summer, but it's related to crime, not really school districts. So no need to, what's going to happen in the special session, but the one we need to watch is the second one after the fiscal year starts. And with that, for any questions that you may have, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Tripp, any questions or comments on anything?
Excellent job. But I do have a question about crime. Recently I've been reading reports about a lot of guns in school, and the media has been covering that. So will there be anything in the crime session that relates to crime that's going on in schools? So that may be something that we may want to look at in order to get more safety dollars.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Thank you, Chris, for all the good work, and the whole team. Thank you, Lauren.
Okay, going down the line, Jeff.
Yeah, I just need to go back to the slide that showed all of the bills that were submitted to be passed.
The highlights,
Yes.
highlights.
Yeah, keep going. The one that, you're right there.
Oh, yes.
Right.
So the total number of legislation was 1328. And then Rio Rancho got one. How many of those were just total for Rio Rancho? Were we at 50%, 80%? That's kind of what I need to know.
So if you see there, Rio Rancho Public School, we track 142 out of the 1328 that you see there, 1,328.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. So
yes.
Those are for all.
So we look at all of those bills as they are introduced.
Okay.
And we decide, is this something that's going to impact Rio Rancho Public Schools? If so, we put it on a tracker and we start watching it. We look at the committee assignments, we look at the amendments, and we watch them as they continue on or as they die. And then in the end, we have a list of stuff that's passed, it's going to impact the district, and we prepare to implement those things.
So 142 for Rio was tracked.
Correct. And then the highlights that
that was it?
That was it on education that made it to the governor's desk and it was signed. Those are the ones that she signed. So which is even less than.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I was asking.
Yeah. You're thinking right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy how much goes through.
There's other bills that impact the district in a general way, like as an employer.
Okay.
As a landowner, other things like that.
Okay.
But specifically our education business, those are the key ones. And you'll see us over the next month or so, we'll be bringing policy changes for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Very good work you do.
Thank you, sir.
Really appreciate that.
Thank you. All right, Bethany?
Oh, I just want to thank both of you. I was very interesting to be back up there again and see kind of the craziness that goes on during the session, but I sure do appreciate your work and very grateful that you're helping us. Thank you.
Jessica Tyler. Yeah, thank you all. And like you said, definitely a team effort, but the leadership, and Lauren, I know you stepped up a lot this year and helped coordinate things. So we appreciate the work that both of you guys did. And of course, thanks to Dr. Cleveland for being so involved, because it's easy to kind of take a back seat to that, and she never does that. And so your ability to and willingness to be there at the long hours and to testify on the bills that affect us is appreciated, and I hope the community realizes that. So thank you very much. Thank you. And I just want to echo what everyone says, being up there and watching it all work. And Dr. Cleveland was up there. I don't know how many times you were up there with Warren and just going back and forth. I feel like even one time you guys came here and then just went back. And yeah, spring break. And, and just being up there too and watching Chris do his work and how he knows everyone. And he manages to get everyone in the right place at the right time. And it's just really impressive. I don't remember if I talked about this last time, but but as I sat with Dr. Cleveland, as we sat around a table with some important people up there, and I was in awe of her, the way that she knows how to speak to people and that she understands all these different processes. And it was impressive. And I just wanted to sit there and learn from the ways that she's able to go through those things. So I want to say thank you for all that. But thank you. Thanks for giving us a great update here and letting us know on that cell phone one. I know I need to look back through it, but do we need to make any changes on that, or is our policy sufficient?
We're reviewing that right now.
Okay.
We'll have some recommendations on what to do. I think the policy that we have is probably along the lines of what they're.
That's what
There's some specific things that the statute says you have to include, and certain things that like exclusions that have to be included as well. So we'll have to make sure that that's captured.
Okay. Well, thank you. Anything else from you guys or Dr. Cleveland?
I would just add one thing. I appreciate real sincere appreciation to both of you for the amount of time and effort that you put into this. And, as Lauren said, he and David would go through and look at all of them, and then they would determine if they were appropriate or not. And then they bring them to cabinet. And then the cabinet would take a look at all of them and decide which ones were more pressing. And of course, we were always saying what's the impact of this financially, or what's the impact of this for our students and our families, and then to track them all the way through. And we appreciate Chris calling and saying, this is the time we need some support. I also want to, again, thank our business community on that $3 million, because they stepped up and turned those letters around in a day and got them. And I have absolutely no doubt that many of those letters from some of our key businesses in this metro area had an impact on that policy committee and the governor's office. So we appreciate them for doing that. But someone has to do the day-to-day. And it's just, Chris, we thank you for all that you do. And Lauren for keeping us all on track here, and for Cabinet for putting in the time to look at it. It is an interesting process and a frustrating process. Don't know anyone that would be better, but I'm sure there are times you think there has to be an easier, better way to get this all done. But I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It's kind of like going up and watching the sausage being made, and just how it all goes through all of these, and then it comes out. But a couple of those bills, I just can't stress enough how critical they were to the financial well-being of the school district this coming year. So I thank you for all your hard work. And the thing that's just so amazing is that it starts now again in earnest in the summer. And one of the discussions is that maybe we need to have more, show up more at some of the interim committee meetings by region, not statewide. So that's something that maybe we need to pay a little more attention to. Thank you both for all your hard work.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We've been clapping for everyone, so I kind of want to, but we're good. Thank you. We'll now go to our public comment. And so this evening we have one public comment that will be here in the boardroom. We also have, tonight we do not have any public comment that came in through our online option for people to be able to give public comment in that way. So we'd like to invite up Corinne Kamanat. So you have to say, I told JC I wasn't going to say it right by the time you got up here. So before you start, just so you know, JC has a 3-minute timer, and so when that ends, then your time will end, but it starts when you start. So we'll go ahead and turn the time to you.
Good evening. My name is Corinne Camerata.
Thank you.
Here in the district. This past Thursday, my 6-year-old sustained a head injury from another child at school. This other kid, they were in line in the hallway. He picked up a doorstop and flung it at my kid's head. Head wounds bleed a lot, which scared the crap out of my kid. Earlier in the day, this same child also caused the rest of his class to miss a quarter of their zoo field trip because he had a meltdown on the bus, and they don't have enough adult supervision to be able to manage this child. In speaking with the vice principal on Friday morning, she said that children with behavioral issues, it used to be one kid, per grade, right? There was 1 or 2. And it has gotten to the point where it's 1 or 2 per class. And I know that my kid's teacher has been here to beg for help. I'm sure there have been plenty of others, but there's not enough help for these teachers. And a teacher's job is not, they cannot be a behavior manager for one kid in their class. They've got a whole class full of kids. And so how many more kids have to sustain injuries before we do something? I mean, I'm happy to get up here and be mouthy and be a squeaky wheel, but I'm also willing to do the work. Like, our senator seems to have stepped out, but point me in the right direction. Like, how do we get help for our teachers so that all of the kids don't have their education disrupted with behavioral issues? What do we do? What is the answer? Like, I know this is not on the agenda, so you're probably not able to respond here, but I'm not just asking rhetorical questions. Like, there needs to be like an actual answer at some point.
Yeah, you're right. We cannot respond back to you tonight because it's not on our agenda. But
is there a way to get this on the agenda? Like, how does that happen? What is the process here to find some help for these teachers?
yeah, so I still can't really talk.
I'll get back with you.
Yeah, we'll
If
do
you
that.
leave your number and how I can get a hold of you, I'll be glad to get back with
Yeah.
you.
I would love that. Who do I leave that
Yeah, with JC right here at the front. So thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm happy to do the work. I'm happy to
Yeah.
go talk to whoever I need to speak to, knock on doors, bully people. I'm good at being mouthy, but I want to get help for our teachers and our kids.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. I usually do say that at the beginning. It's always kind of awkward because if something's not on our agenda, we can't really respond back to it. But we do appreciate all the public comment that comes into our boardroom. And this is definitely a topic that we do talk about, and we'll make sure that we talk about here.
We've talked about it a lot, and it's very complex.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to get back with you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving to our consent agenda. We have
Madam President, this is Board Member Tyler. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Board Member Jeff Morgan, I say.
Okay, we have a motion by Jessica Tyler. I'm going slow for JC over there, and a second by Jeff Morgan. You got it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries on that. Okay, and we'll now go into the business portion of our meeting for tonight. And we'll start with considering the approval of the Fine Arts Education Act application for the 25-26 school year. And Dr. Kurt Schmidt, our Executive Director of Fine Arts, will present.
Thank you, President Galbraith, Dr. Cleveland, members of the board. Very brief presentation today. I'm presenting about the Fine Arts Education Act and asking for approval to submit the application to the state, which is due May 31st. So first of all, what is the FAEA? It is, as you see, a legislative appropriations designated to ensure art and music or other fine arts at the K-6 elementary level. Some districts have grade 6 as part of the elementary. We have the middle school, but it still covers some of the funding for 6th grade. But also, this program submittal is submitted to the state yearly. What FAA is not, there's a major misconception that it's a grant, probably because we do have to put in paperwork and there's an application for it. However, it is not a grant. It is funding that runs through the SCG as the rest of our so it is not a grant. I just want to make that. As I said, however, an application does have to be submitted, and probably therein lies the confusion. So.
Yeah.
How the money we get for the FAE is determined is through this formula. It's the unit value, which next year is lower $6,800. Our 80 and 120 day average, which is 8,036 students for next year, multiplied by the Fine Arts Education Act multiplier, 0.055, and yields roughly just over $3 million. I did check with finance, and this is the amount that has been reported on our 910B5. So it is, my calculations and math are correct. So I'm glad to see that. The budget does support salaries for elementary K-5 art music teachers. We'll tell us about that later. Stipends for elementary band and orchestra programs. Also for content leaders, stipends for content leaders in art, music, K through 5. Professional development for fine arts and general education teachers. Instructional materials and supplies, K through 6. Transportation for students to enrich in the arts. And instruments and equipment for fine arts programs, again, K through 6. It also helps support our many partnerships, specifically with the Santa Fe Opera under the umbrella of the Kennedy Center. Our arts integration workshops that we offer roughly 4 to 6 per year for mainly general education teachers. Differs per workshop. Some are more elementary based, some are middle school and secondary based. Those arts integration workshops are funded by the FAEA. Student-produced operas at the elementary and middle school level. That's also part of our partnership with simply the Santa Fe Opera, not the Kennedy Center. In fact, if you're free on Wednesday, I know there's an appreciation dinner on Wednesday night, but we also have the student-produced opera performances Wednesday night. It's a culminating experience for those students. Also, our partnership with National Dance Institute in New Mexico runs movement classes for 4th graders at 4 of our elementary schools, Colinas, Maggie, Vesta, and San Diego Vista. So the staffing, as I mentioned earlier, the funding for FAE funding helps fund the salaries for 11 art teachers and 13 music teachers at the elementary level. We have, as you know, we have 11 elementary schools. 2 of the larger elementary schools double up with music to help, again, with the specialist rotation. And as I said, at least every elementary school has at least 1 art and 1 music teacher school site. Teacher salaries at the 6th grade level are not funded through FAEA, but they do, the Fine Arts Education Act does help supply them with materials, equipment, et cetera, professional development. That's 6 art teachers at the middle school, 16 music teachers, and 1 theater teacher at the 6th grade level. And that'll answer the question.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Cleveland, do you want to add anything for?
Just, I think as you put that, this is critical to supporting our elementary programs. And so I thank you for the hard work and putting us all together. And we've had a couple of legislative issues that threatened this money. Last year, was it last year or 2 years ago?
2 years and this rolls out almost gone.
Yeah.
It's really helping us.
Yeah.
Multi-year progress to get that multiplier, the 0.055 multiplier.
Right. So it is critical, and it has helped support our programs. So we're very thankful for it. Concerned if we ran it like everything else through the regular formula, we'd end up getting less and less and less of it. So, but anyway, that was my only comment. It pays for a lot, and we've had to watch diligently to keep that funding at the same level.
Thank you. Gary Tripp, do you have any questions?
Y'all have a question?
We had a question over here, but it wasn't really for Dr. Schmidt. It was.
Yeah, we'll ask later.
Yeah, one of the discussion.
So he don't have anything, in other words.
Yeah.
No, he has nothing.
Yeah.
We'll ask, it's for the board, we'll ask later, but I don't have anything. Thanks for your work. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. These two were not paying attention.
No, we were. We just identified something on the agenda that was a little awkward, and we need to ask later on. That's
Okay, now I'm very curious. Okay. All right, Beth Miller, any?
No questions. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And Jessica Tyler, anything? Any questions?
I'm just checking the application and one of the, you know me.
Thank you.
I'm just checking the numbers. Oh, and now I clicked on the wrong document. Hold on, let me reopen this.
Linda, but do you want it?
On the application, I think it says, I'm assuming you're talking about all teachers that we have in our programs? Because K through 6. Because for fine arts, for music teachers, we have 29 teachers listed, 1 for theater, and then 17 for visual arts. So that's a total of 18 and 29. I didn't think that those numbers were reflected the same in the PowerPoint, but I might just not be doing my math correctly. That's okay.
Looking at
That's my only question, yeah. I would just double check the numbers on the application to make sure.
There, I believe the application asks for those different categories.
Yes.
Is there a total student?
No,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it has total number of students.
Yeah, so each one that you're looking at is just, oh, I'm not sure what it says, but it doesn't ask for a total number of teachers. It just asks for each individual one. So I think, yeah.
The odd thing about the application is that they ask for the projected enrollment next year, but that has nothing to do with.
Yeah.
So I think it's curious.
Oh, that's, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that help, Jessica?
Sorry, I'm just doing my math. Give me 1 second.
Let us help you out, Jessica.
She sounds like me too. Okay, yes, no, it does add up. Sorry, I just, the numbers were broken up differently, so I just wanted to double check that. I'm sorry,
We're
yeah.
always grateful, yeah.
Yeah.
Always good too.
No, yeah. No, I thought maybe we had additional teachers and then we were just getting funding for a portion of it, but it was just the way they're listed out. Their application is a little funny.
To clarify that,
Yeah.
the sixth grade teachers, fine arts teachers, receive funding for their sixth grade students.
Like the teachers aren't funded.
Right, but the teachers aren't funded. Right,
Correct,
right.
yeah.
And they.
Supplies.
Those same middle school teachers teach, of course, 6, 7,
Correct.
so.
Gotcha. Thank you. No, I'm sorry.
No, you're totally good. Anyone else, any questions or anything else?
Sure. I will make a motion to approve your Fine Arts Education Act application for the 2025-2026 school year.
Board Member Jeff Morgan, I second.
Okay. We have a motion by Jessica Tyler and a second by Jeff Morgan. And we can do an all in favor on this, Lauren Hatch. Yeah, all in favor on this?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. Just a point of procedure, I do need.
Yeah.
Signature.
Yeah, I have it right here in front of me, so I'll make sure that we get it done. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
We'll
you.
close the deal, Margaret.
All right. Our next is to consider the approval of the 25-26 budget, and Mike Baker, our Chief Operations Officer, will present.
Good evening, President Galbraith, Dr. Cleveland, members of the school board. So we have reviewed the 25-26 budget with the Finance Committee. And so I would like to do just a quick review of that budget. The total revenue estimated for 25-26 is approximately $253 million. Out of that, the SCG is approximately $230 million. Other sources of revenue, for example, user fees and taxes, come to about $4.4 million. Our beginning fund balance is just under $16 million. And our CTE and reduction in class sizes is approximately $3 million. So this budget essentially represents keeping our current programs pretty much at the same level as we currently have now. Last year, or this year actually, we did face a shortfall in revenue. But there were three major changes that really facilitated this budget to be able to maintain those services. And certainly, as you heard Chris Balzano speak, Dr. Cleveland, Chris, and Lauren Hatch going up to Santa Fe, the many times that they did to support specifically House Bill 3, which significantly increased our SCG. The $3 million for the CTE startup helped a lot. And also we received our transportation funding, which is probably an increase of approximately $3 to $3.5 million. So those three things combined had a significant impact on the revenue picture for 25-26 fiscal year. Board policy requires that we have a reserve, which is $6 million, which is in the budget. On the expenditure side, you could see that most of our expenditures are salary and benefits, and the total expenditure matched that revenue. Salary and benefit costs is approximately 197 million, and schools and departments come out to approximately 56 million. So we do present a balanced budget. This particular year, we had a number of mandatory budget additions that were required by the state legislature. That includes a 4% salary increase for all employees at 6.8 million, increase in medical premiums for both the district and the employee, just under 10%. Dental premiums increase for the district and the employee at 4%, and property and risk insurance increased just under 17%, for a total of mandatory additions just over $9 million. The major initiative that we've been working on for many, many years, and we'll see the opening of Rio Tech in August. The first year operational cost is estimated at approximately $1.5 million. This particular year, we saw just over a 5% increase in our SEG. And as you know, the SEG is really our bread and butter when it comes to our budget. Those are the highlights of the 25 and 26 budget. I will stand for questions.
Okay. Dr. Cleveland, do you want to add?
Oh, that's not the
Okay,
board.
we'll go to the board.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
I'm going to go to.
Somebody might have a question.
I know, I'm gonna go to this side first, just, because I'm always over here. I'm always over here. Jessica Tyler, any? I don't have any questions. Okay,
I don't either, thank you.
thank you. Well, that was fast. Gary Tripp?
Oh, me, okay. I just want to add a comment. And the first part of my comment is to thank the governor, Kathleen Cates, Representative Cates, Senator Brandt, Senator Block, Representative Hernandez, Representative Collin. I asked my board members to help me thank somebody I may have forgotten, but I would also like to plead with them, as Chris Pisano just talked about the possibility of the special session in October, that if we do our short federal funds, that we take it out of money that we've been saving the last few years in the state of New Mexico, and we plead and beg them for that. But we thank them for this wonderful thing they've done for us, taking care of our kids. So thank you.
That's good.
I don't have anything, and I can't remember who else. So
Yeah, I feel like I think you got
They did a
everyone.
great job
Yeah.
helping our kids.
Yeah, yeah, they did do a great job. Dr. Cleveland, do you want to add anything else?
Just every year is a hard year for budget. And I think, it's, you look through it over time, you see how very hard the process is to make the things go, to make money go as far as we need it to go, and to utilize it as effectively as we can. And so I want to thank certainly Mike and David and Heather and all of those that worked on the budget, as well as the cabinet who spent a lot of time looking at the budget as well, trying to do the very best we can with what we have and using the money wisely. And so it is a challenge. And I know people think this might be kind of a strange thing to say, but every year when it starts, you kind of have a pit in your stomach, just fear of what it's going to be like this year. Are we going to have enough? Are we going to be able to do what we need to do for kids? But it isn't a perfect budget. And one of the issues that was just raised is something we're continuing to work on, our parent. But I just want to thank everybody who put the time and effort into the budget, making it work. And understand too that it now goes up to the public ed department, and they can also recommend changes. They don't usually do that because I think we do a pretty good job with our budget, but they still have the ability to ask for reconsideration or changes as well. So you just need to know that could be a possibility. Don't think it would be terribly likely. But anyway, thank you to everyone for all the hard work on the budget.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, and that's just since we are talking about this and we're talking about, us trying to put these numbers together. We had that public comment earlier, and we've been talking about, what happens up in Santa Fe. But with all those things, there still is so much more that we want to be able to put in that we cannot put in. And every year we go up to Santa Fe, and that is why we are up there, right, is to secure those monies because we do see what's happening in the school district, and we want to make sure that our teachers and our students are safe. And so I'd echo with that plead with with Gary Tripp that there's still much more that that just needs to be done. And I know everyone's heart's in the right place, but there is action that needs to come behind that. So thank you for that. Anything else from you before we go into motion?
I think that's it.
Okay.
I would just add that the board spent quite a bit of time prior to this meeting in the finance committee meeting going over some of this information as well.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. So
Board member, so we ready to move?
we are.
Board member Jeff Morgan, I make a motion to consider the approval of the 25-26 budget.
Gary Tripp, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Jeff Morgan and a second by Gary Tripp. And let's go ahead and do a roll call vote on this one.
Vice President Morgan?
Yes.
Secretary Tyler?
Yes.
Board Member Tripp?
Yes.
Board Member Miller?
Yes.
President Galbraith?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. There's a lot of work that goes into that budgeting, and so we appreciate everyone who put all that hard work in. So our next is going to be ITB number 2025-022 FAC Vista Grande roof replacement, and David Vihal, our Executive Director of Finance, will present.
Thank you, President Galbraith, Cleveland, members of the school board. Tonight, Mr. Mike Madrid could not be here with us, so we had to go to the bench.
It took me a moment, like, wait, it's not Michael Madrid.
So I'm not going to be, I'll try to be as eloquent as he is. This, well, I am here to present invitation to bid number 2025-022 FAC for the Vista Grande roof replacement. So as an ITB goes, we evaluate based on the lowest price for all of the operators as opposed to an RFP, which excuse me, has other qualifications that are evaluated. So, and Mr. Baker is here to talk about some of the scope of the work if you're interested in that. I am not a roofing expert nor a procurement of roofing expert, but I'm here to present the ITB and the results. So the district received 6 bids in response to this procurement solicitation. DKG and Associates Incorporated, EPX Construction Partners, Franklin Construction, National Roof Company, Pioneer Roofing and Construction, and Weiser Electric LLC. There was an evaluation committee that looked at the bids that were offered, and out of the 6, we recommend the award going to DKG and Associates Incorporated. A couple of points here to note is their relevant experience doing roofs. They have worked with APS, South Prairie Public Schools, their data center, charter school remodel, the Del Norte ES elementary school roof replacement, Arroyo del Pozo elementary school roof, and the Tucumcari Carey School re-roof project. All significant projects, and so the company is well versed in doing this kind of scope of work and type of job. The evaluation rubric is included in the ITB here, and Mr. Madrid and I went over this. Just so a point to note here is that all but one of the bidders had either a resident business preference or a veteran resident business preference certificate. So, and we'll note that Pioneer Roofing did not have the resident business preference or the veteran resident business preference. And so based on all of these got the additional awarded points based on that preference. And based on that, DKG came out as the lowest bidder. So we are here to invite the board to vote to award the ITB to DKG and Associates Incorporated.
Okay.
And I hope that was pretty.
That was good. That was good. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Cleveland, do you have anything?
It's just good to see so many really good quality bidders on this job. So and a really good bid. So thank you, and pass that on to Michael as well.
Yeah. And board, any really hard questions for David? Okay.
Thank you.
Take a motion.
As Board Member Tyler, I'll make a motion to award the invitation to bid number 2025-022-FAC for Vista Grande roof replacement to DKG and Associates Incorporated.
Board Member Jeff Morgan, a second.
We have a motion by Jessica Tyler and a second by Jeff Morgan, and all in favor on this action?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, I just want to go over a couple things on the advanced planning coming up, and if Dr. Cleveland has anything on that, she's welcome to, I'll ask her. But so this Wednesday, I think Claudia went around and made sure you talked to everyone for this Wednesday, but I just want to really, what? Except what? No?
No, I didn't say.
Oh, did you not? I'm just hearing things. I think it's time for the meeting to end. I'm hearing things in the boardroom. So just, I want to put a plug in for this staff appreciation dinner. If you can, please make it a priority to be there. It's really a great opportunity just for us to really honor our teachers. Are we also doing the Hall of Honor that night as well?
We are. And so there'll be a good number of folks that are there for that. And as you call it, it's our retirees. It's also other recognition across the district for staff and in the Hall of Honor. So it's all three. We're getting so large now, as Scotty said, we ran out of one location. We moved to Cleveland. We're about to run out of space even there. But it is always a good turnout. So for those of you who can make it, that'd be great. But it is a nice evening. And we will be honoring the Hall of Honor, Joan Bivens, longtime secretary, EA in the district, and Mark Leonard, who was one of our original teachers at the start of the district. So those are our two Hall of Honor individuals that, and they'll be bringing some of their family as well. So we'll have a big crowd.
It's gonna be great.
And it's a huge undertaking, and Claudia does a wonderful job with it. But it's a nice event, and again, it's a Cleveland. We've had to move it.
Yeah,
to
is it Cleveland in the gym? Is that where it's going to be? In the cafeteria. Okay, that's what I was trying to make sure I go to the right spot when I get there. So thank you for that. And then of course we have all of our graduations that are coming up. So this Friday will be Cyber Academy, that will be at Cleveland. Then we'll have Rio Rancho. No, I'm getting this. So on the 19th will be Cleveland's and Independence, and then we have Rio Rancho's on the 20th. Do we need parking permits from you for those upcoming? Do you have them, or should we do need? Okay. 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 So no, it's okay. I just know sometimes it's like mayhem sometimes over there. So, and then of course we have some, Memorial Day coming up, the last day of school, and then there's the law conference coming up. Is there any questions on any of these, since there's so much happening? Any questions on the upcoming calendar?
Just one comment for the board to know that next year we will not be able to use the event center. And so it will look like that we will be, next year it will be an evening event because the state is making us move to the end of May before seniors can be released. So a graduation date will change, and the event center was already booked by the time we learned that was going to happen. So a year from now, our graduation will be a little different. So I just wanted to give you kind of a heads up.
Unless the state wants to change that. Okay, so with that, before you leave tonight, before we'll adjourn here in just a moment, but I need every board member's signature for the budget. So please do that before you guys leave it. It's right here on my desk, okay? All right, and so with that, our meeting's adjourned for tonight. Thank you.